Well, good evening, my lovely lilies. Tonight, I have for you 7 horror stories best shared around a campfire. You don't have a campfire? Well then, turn off all the lights and listen in the dark. Warning, these stories are not for the faint of heart. So without further ado, close the blinds, dim those lights, cuddle under your favorite blanket, and let's begin. Number 1. The Ghost of Stowe Lake. In 1908, a man was pulled over by the cops when he was driving way too fast. When the police officer spoke to the man, he found him shaking and talking gibberish. The man claimed a woman had crawled out of Stowe Lake while he had been fishing there that morning. What he saw was so lifelike that he walked over to the woman and tried to help her out of the lake. It's believed that this woman, who had long blonde hair and was barefoot, was the ghost of a woman who drowned herself and her baby in the lake in the 18th century. Number 2. The Charmin. In the Ojai Valley in Camp Comfort County Park, California, the grotesque figure of a burnt man can be seen by an unlucky few. It is believed that a mysterious wildfire which engulfed the woods in 1948 killed the Charmin when he tried to protect his wife and son from the flames. Taking shelter in a ditch, the Charmin lay over his family to shield them from the fire. His burnt body was later found strung up to a tree, but his wife and son were never found or heard from again. Some say they have heard a woman and a child screaming on the site where the Charmin died. Others believe they have been chased by the Charmin, who claws at people's skin, trying to replace his own. Number 3. The Girl Who Was Buried Alive. In 1692, a 13-year-old girl was abandoned in the woods just outside of Salem, Massachusetts, by her father, who suspected her of being a witch. After hearing rumors that his daughter had been terrorizing townspeople, the girl's father led a mob into the woods to find her and kill her. The girl escaped the fire, but was met with a group of angry men who began chasing her deeper into the woods. When the girl fell into a deep ditch, she called to her father for help, and as she reached up to her father, he started to shovel dirt over her. Now, people who visit the woods think they can hear the muffled, agonizing screams of the girl who was buried alive. Number 4. Camp Connecticut. Hidden on a back road, Camp Connecticut is a derelict summer camp with a dark history. Before the area was a camp, a poverty-stricken family lived in the woods. Driven insane with hunger and thirst, the man killed his daughter and wife before hanging himself from a tree. When the area was developed into the camp, hundreds of years later, a camp counselor went crazy, killing 60 children and 4 other counselors by locking them in their cabins and setting them on fire. Before drowning herself, the counselor scratched, "The hanging man told me," into a tree stump near the lake. People believe the guilt-ridden ghost of the man haunts the empty camp, with people hearing hysterical laughter in the woods in the dead of night. Number 5. Hide-and-Seek Creek. In 1971, a camp counselor at Camp Nook Creek started a game of hide-and-seek with the campers. He sent the campers to hide and made himself the seeker. After an hour or two, the counselor had found all the children, except one, James Lacey, but called time on the game because it was getting late. He yelled for the kids to return to their bunks for a count. Everyone returned except James. The counselor called his colleagues, and they searched for him all night, but James was nowhere to be seen. Once the police search finished, the camp was closed for the rest of the summer and reopened 3 years later. The same counselor returned and was setting up at the creek for canoe lessons for the new campers. Upon overturning one of the canoes, he was hit with a putrid smell. Underneath the canoe, he found the remains of James. Scratch marks lined the inside of the boat where the child had tried to get free once he became trapped. Number 6. The Raid. At Spring Creek's camp near Lake Michigan in 1982, a group of boys decided to raid the cabins of the girls who were staying at the camp. One night, when the coast was clear, the boys snuck out of their own cabin and creeped into the girls' cabin. It was so dark that the boys couldn't see anything and were feeling around the room. As they tried to find candy and snacks to steal, the cabin light turned on, and the boys figured they were busted. But in the doorway was a masked figure holding a blood-drenched knife. The boys screamed and started shaking the girls' beds to wake them and warn them. That's when they realized that they and everything else in the cabin was covered in blood of their fellow campers. By the end of the night, every single camper and counselor had been murdered by this masked figure. Number 7. The Only Child. In 1876, a 10-year-old boy bludgeoned his mother and father to death while they slept, after his mother had told him she was going to have a baby. When the housemaid found the boy sitting in his parents' blood the next day, he told her that someone had come into the house in the middle of the night and murdered his parents while he hid under his own bed. No one knows what happened to the boy after this, but a campsite now sits on the land his parents used to own. Campers and hikers who stay at the site have said they sometimes hear a child's laughter. Others have seen the ghosts of the mother and father he murdered, drifting through the woods, holding hands. Ping! The soft chime was just loud enough to raise Sherry Collins from the depths of sleep toward consciousness. She pushed herself up on her elbows and squinted, trying to pierce through the early morning darkness of the bedroom. The only light was a dull white glow from her phone on her bedside table. Propping herself up with pillows, she focused on the text she had just received. It was from her 14-year-old daughter, Kate. "Mom, my ride bailed on me. Can you come pick me up?" Sherry frowned and began typing. Snuck out of the house? Why are you out so late? Ping. Please, just come pick me up. I'll explain. Corner of Woodland and 9th. What choice was there? I'll be there in 15. Look for me. Ping. Kay. Sherry angrily threw on clothes and dropped her phone in her purse. GPS was taking Sherry downtown, into a dark, unfamiliar part of the city, and it wasn't helping her mood at all. Bright window displays gave way to warehouses and fenced lots, topped with razor wire. Sherry jumped when the GPS lady announced that her destination was 100 feet ahead. She slowly pulled up to the intersection of Woodland and 9th and scanned the area, but saw no signs of life. I'm going to kill her, thought Sherry, who then pushed on the horn twice. The industrial wasteland around her was unnervingly silent, but she thought she caught something moving to her right. Ping! She locked the doors and turned back to her phone. It was a text from Kate's friend Megan. Mom, where are you? Kate? Yes, why don't you answer? I'm here. Where are you? Ping. In my bedroom. I've been calling out for you. That can't be. You texted me. Lost phone today. Using Megan's. We are scared. What's wrong? Ping. Footsteps. Noises in the hallway. Oh God, please let that be you. Kate? Kate! Alright, my lovely lilies, thank you so much for watching the new video. If you can, hit that subscribe and like button, comment below and tell me your thoughts. Also, don't forget to tap the little notification bell so you're always in the know on this channel. As well, guys, you can always find me on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and always you can hit me up in my emails. Feel free to send me your stories, whether they're fiction or totally true. I'm always up for some great stories. And oh, by the way, until next time, sweet dreams.